Hello guys, this is MTech Gaming here, and today I'm going to do a quick little review on the Matilda. So, well, in 2018. So, what's changed? Not very much. It's still a Matilda. It has good armor, fairly good gun, and bad mobility. But we'll go over more on that in depth in just a moment. But I'm just going to give away a couple of things straight off the bat as well. My crew isn't maxed out. Reason being is because I recently rebought this. And I never spend my gold on 100% crew, so I usually just spend it on premium accounts. But right now I'm trying to get used to this game again, because it's been a while since I've actually played this. So it's going to take a wee while, but I do have some footage after this, 2 games in fact, that do display this quite well. So that will just be in a moment. But let's first go over the basics of this tank and why it's such a great tier 4. Well, one of the best tier 4s, if not the best, if you know how to obviously use it. Now, firepower. Okay, so it does 55 damage per shot, but this is with, like, we've got a few guns here. Now this is the one I do recommend you unlocking, and that is the 2-pounder. Okay, this is the gun you want. There is another gun, hold on, which is, hold on a second, where is it? Is that, I think, I don't know if yeah, this is it, the dirt gun. Don't get this, guys, just don't. This guy, the 2-pounders are a lot better. Reason being, double the fire rate. But you might be like, but MTech, the derp gun does more damage. Well, think about it. We'll compare the accuracy. 0.3 dispersion at 100 meters compared to 0.36. Already, that's an instant giveaway. Same aim time as well. Now that aim time, yeah, that's pretty quick. Like, really quick as well. But yeah, look at this. Look how much more shots you can fire. Yeah, the howitzer does do 175, but if you're against a beefy tank, that is not going to do that 175 damage either. So I highly recommend the 2-pounder. I really do not recommend you use the 3-inch howitzer. Get the 2-pounder and you will be sorted. Next, well, of course you're going to want that turret. But before all that, I'm pretty sure, I can't remember now, it's been a while, but I'm pretty sure you do need the suspension first as well. Like, if you want to get this tank, just get out the whole lot, just get the whole lot. But make sure you get this engine, this, or this. You want them basically max out. Now, I have got the Church 5, but this isn't what the video's about. And it's not in my garage currently, so we won't be talking about that. So, we've gone over the firepower. Now, according to this, average damage right now with, you know, near enough maxed out crew is 1,800 per minute. That is insane, guys, but that isn't guaranteed that every shot's going to hit and pen. Remember this thing? Okay, although actually is pretty good, the thing is, when you fire all the time, your reticle does extend. And even now, with that 1.9 millisecond aim time, you can still miss a few shots because you're wanting to pump out that much shots, if that makes sense. But that will be displayed in my footage as well. You will notice that. So, yeah, survivability. Well, it's got 370 hit points with the max turret. You've got to get that max turret to get that HP. This is maxed out, by the way, so basically we're talking about the maxed out with the 6-pounder, okay? 75 at the front, 70 at the sides, and 75 at the rear. Okay, so I'll give you something as well. When you come across this or use this, do not face it like this towards your enemy. Well, in fact, don't do that with any tank apart from, I'll quickly show you, like the IS-3. That has the pike nose. Then you do that. Then you show it like that, and try and hide the lower glasses plate if you can. This isn't, oh, sorry, this isn't a Russian heavy, so, and it isn't a pike nose, so this is not going to work. But you will notice, look at this, 2 slopings at the sides. What does that mean? Well, if they don't shoot you flat here, which is only, 75mm is still quite a bit for quite a lot of GAN, so you will still bounce, but just angle it, guys. But don't over angle. Could get hit here. But it is a little bit sloped, just a little bit. So they could bounce, actually. But if you are going to aim, just shoot it flat here. Don't shoot down here, don't try and shoot here. Look how rounded that is. You're going to bounce. Don't shoot obviously here. That's going to ricochet right off. It's going to go there. And also, if you're going to shoot the gun, I recommend, I think it's about here or something where you can actually get a shot in. If you've got the penetration, of course, you could do it. Or the commander's hatch. But I look at this it's a really small target. The side of the tank, shoot here, flat here. Don't try and shoot the spaced armor, because what will end up happening is the tracks will either eat your shot or the spaced armor will. Rear, well, shoot it basically anywhere really. Preferably down here though. Try not to shoot here, because that could ricochet actually off, or the back of the turret. So that's kind of like an armor overview. It's pretty OP though for tier 4, as we will display. But when you're using this, do angle it, but don't over angle it. You don't want to be showing too much. Just a slight angle would be increase the effectiveness. Mobility. Well, yeah. Mobility of this tank, let's just say it's not good. 190 horsepower. This tank is near enough a 30-ton tank. I think you already know what that means. Yeah, this is going to be slow. A top speed of 24. You never really see that unless you're going down a hill or getting pushed by someone else. What you'll mostly usually see is 20 to 13. Yeah, 13, you heard me. Talk 2. If you're going up hills, expect 7. It is that immobile. The ground resistance on this tank is terrible, which is why if you do get your crew skills, which I have got, is once you've eventually maxed it out, of course, once you've got your brothers and arms, etc., you need to try and get the clutch control, etc., to try and get that better ground resistance. And that will definitely improve the mobility of this tank. But not, like, it's not going to, like, turn it into a light tank or a medium tank mobility. Just, well, this is a medium tank, but it's basically a heavy tank, okay, guys? So, spotting, yeah, view range isn't the greatest, but it's decent. I can still detect stuff in this thing, but it's got the armor, so if you don't see them, well, unless it's a tank shore, then it's alright, Gucci. Unless it's on a open map. Yeah, I think that's about everything, really, to go over. I can show you my service record as well, but like I say, I'm not the best, and also I didn't start off on PC. I actually started off on the Xbox version, so I won't have as much battles, etc. But I have played this game for a while. I do have some knowledge. I'll quickly show you my Matilda if I can find it. Yeah, 66 battles, 36 victories. I'm not very good at winning. Half the time I get bad teammates as well. I've not got an ace tanker, fortunately, with this thing, but I have got a first class with this. And yeah, it's a good thing. One steel you will get a lot more if you play more of this, of course. And 4 high calibers. These are the 2 medals you'll expect to see the most if you keep using this thing. It's just what it's built for, you know. Of course, you can only get your steel wall if you survive. Half the time when I do blocks lots of damage, I might die from artillery, etc. So there's that as well. Now, before we go into the footage, what do I recommend? What loadouts? Okay, so here we go. For consumables, well, let's start with ammunition. What do I recommend? Just full AP. If you want to not lose silver, just go full AP. You don't need the APCR. Honestly, a 20 extra millimeter, unless you really want to win all the time and you really need that. Okay, load a couple of APCRs for that tier 5 or tier 6 maybe that you just can't get through. But 121 is still a lot of pin, and you'll definitely get through every tier 4, most tier 5s if you aim right. Tier 6 not so much, but even with APCR, tier 5s or tier 6s, sorry, are going to be a bit of a problem. It's only 20 extra pen, not worth it. Enough of that. Consumables. Well, just the standard, but you could swap this fire extinguisher because I usually don't go on fire too often. So, what I recommend, small repair kit, large of course if you want to spend more, well, it's up to you. Small repair kit, small first aid, manual fire extinguisher, or if you want to spend the extra silver, or gold, wouldn't recommend paying gold for that, but whatever, if it's whatever floats your boat, right? Pudding and tea. What does that do? Well, I think most of you tankers know what that does. 10% to all crew skills, which basically just means crew enhancements, better gunner, better reload times, etc. Self-explanatory. What about equipment? Well, I haven't actually got all the equipment I want. I've got this camouflage net. I don't know how I got this, but I think I got it from some other vehicle, and since it doesn't, you can use it on others, I think I just got this. But I actually would recommend, all those things can roll faster, just make it roll even faster, why not? Get mounting caliber, well, gun rammer, sorry, ventilation, and hold on, let me see here. Either coated optics, because the view range isn't that great, or possibly a spall liner. That could be useful for against artillery. So that or a coated optics or a spall liner, or you could even go for a gun lane drive if you really want to. I wouldn't recommend it, but if you really do want to keep your snapshots a bit quicker and more accurate, then yeah, that could work. And of course, if you can't afford improved, then just get improved versions, but I can't, because improved is new to me. I've not been on it. I don't know when improved came out. I don't even know about this stuff, but I've not been on since improved. So I'm not a big fan of this, but whatevs, you know, just if you can't get it, if you've got the, what is this currency anyway? Bonds, okay. Yeah, if you've got the bonds, just get it. Yeah, that's it really. We're gonna just go over to the footage now, and we're gonna show you some gameplays, and I'll be back in just a moment. Okay, so this is on Highway. We are playing as the Matilda. It's a tier 4 matchup. Basically just full tier 4s. You'll notice that there is quite a few Valentine's 2s on the enemy team, and we will bump into some of them along the way. Basically, we're just going to demonstrate the armor and the DPM of this machine and how good it is in tier 4. Of course, as you start going up, like any tank, it does get a bit more difficult, especially when you're against tier 6s and other such things. Now, this is another thing to be expected in a slow tank. Sometimes, especially sometimes on these low tiers, you might get some nice people that might help push your tank, as this T28 displays here. He actually comes and pushes my Matilda into battle, which is quite nice of him. But as you'll see, we will start to eventually get into the battle at some point. That's just the thing of this, like I said, this thing is really well armoured, has a good gun, but the mobility of this thing, yeah, it's not great. I mean, it's not talk too slow, but it's not very fast. But it's kind of made up for, of course, by the armor and the gun of this tank, and we will soon display this once we eventually get here. I will show you how this thing performs. So yeah, you get 75, remember 75 on the front. Now, if you are going to, quickly pause this, if you are going to shoot this, you know, you definitely want to be aiming at this flat point. If you can only see it frontally, I would say the best place to shoot it, if you've got the penetration, if it's facing flat on and the guy doesn't know what he's doing and he's not angling, is to try and shoot this. But look how small that is. Like, the chances of hitting that as well is, unless you're point blank, but don't be trying to shoot the cupola, because unless you have a really accurate gun, because most likely you're going to miss and hit the mantlet and the turret. And don't obviously shoot the sloping either, because that's going to be more of an extreme angle. And of course, if he's side scraping as well, it's going to be a lot harder to get through this thing. But if he says skyscraping, try and hit this plate here if you can. Depends how extreme. Usually when I side scrape, I come out like this. But we'll show you some of this when we get around. At some point, I'll just flip around. I'm gonna quickly fast forward up here a little bit, just because, you know, you don't want to be waiting too long, right? Just gonna put this in 2 times speed. This is like a medium tank, basically. Well, not even that. Yeah, just. Okay, right, we're just gonna come around this corner and just watch this thing. Just watch this thing. Okay, so we come up across a Hetzer. I see a Hetzer. Open fire. Watch this. Look at this reload. 2-second reload. Look at that. And he has lost more than half of his health. He's at 54 HP already. That is how quickly the Matilda melts through tanks. Coming up across the Valentine. That's a troll tank. I'm for the Matilda. Look at this. You don't need to load APCR either. I find just load full AP and you will be sorted. The only time I'd use APCR is if you're in a tier 6 game. But even still, I don't even bother with that. Look at this, look at this. That's how you melt through the Valentine. Just aim at that upper plate or the turret mantlet, because it's quite weak there. And there. Valentine 2 done. And so far we've blocked 94 damage. Most of that was from the Valentine 2, but you'll see that artillery starts to become a problem. And that is a thing that is a bit of a problem for this tank. Oh, another Valentine 2. Watch this. Yeah, this thing is the Valentine 2 destroyer. Or any Valentine for that matter. Like, these are pretty troll tanks. Not for the Matilda. Okay, we come up against the Panzer B2. Now, this thing does manage to get me at some point. I'm not sure if he's using APCR or not. I think one of his shots could have been. But I'm not 100% on that. Actually, we could display that real quick here. Let's try and see. I'm actually not 100% sure where that APCR round went. I think it could have went. Hold on. I think it might have. Oh, camera keeps glitching. Yeah, I'm not 100% where that shot went. Oh, there we go. Yeah. Okay, it managed to actually pen right there, surprisingly. I think that might have been our. No, that wasn't artillery, was it? No. Okay, so yeah, the B2 managed to get a shot just there, somehow. But, yeah, that's a bit of a lucky shot, really. RNG, I'm blamed for that. Okay, so now I'm being a bit aggressive here. There's a T-28 right here. I think he's got the derp gun, so he does manage to get a shot there. But it was mostly a track shot. But here's the problem. I don't know how they managed this, but they managed to get over the building here. Well, it's a bit of a small building, really. And they do manage. Both the artilleries hit my tank, and I'm left at 10 HP. So at this point, yeah, I'm kind of screwed. I can't really take any more shots at this point. I do come out a little. I swinged out a little too aggressively there at the B2, I think, but I do bounce the second one there, mess up that. But I am trying and put pressure on the enemy at this choke point here. And you can see this thing can definitely take on like 3 at once, like especially if they don't push you. Like what this PZ-38 should have tried to do. I don't even think that gun could pen the back at me. I wasn't actually. I thought it actually had the 75mm. Not the 75. I can't remember now, but the gun that's got decent enough pen the rear and side of this Matilda, but it's actually the pop gun, and it's one of the worst ones. More like a tier 3 one. So yeah, he comes around, he turns around, and I just pop out and I just unload it. But as you're gonna see in a minute, yeah, the artillery's back, and yeah, that's the biggest pain. This match could have been. Yeah, this one could have been a lot better, but you can kind of see here that you can play really aggressive in this tank, and you can really just obliterate basically anything, essentially. Once you start getting tier 5s though, yeah, be a bit more careful, but tier 4s, tier 3s, all that, yeah, start pushing up. Just be a Matilda, just get in there and eat up the damage. And you can see there that, I'm just going to fast forward the rest of this here, because we do win. nothing really much to see here, apart from people blowing up stuff. Okay, now we are on Scared Valley. I hope I said that right. Didn't quite see it there. But yeah, anyway, this is a good matchup again. We're on tier 4s, but this time it's mostly tier 3s. And now, this is really going to show the armor here. How ridiculous it is for tier 3s. Eventually here. So yeah, we're going to quickly fast forward to the good bits. We're taking the right side of the map. Oh, mostly, well, the majority of the game I'll be D2, D3. That's kind of the direction I think I'm going to take. But yeah, we'll just fast forward this for now. Nothing really much to see here. You know what the mobility is like. I already talked about that. I'm sure you don't really want to see too much of this. But yeah, let's just get on to it. So I'm approaching a LTVZ-38. Not really much a threat for this. But yeah, you'll just see in a minute. I'm just gonna line up the shot. Just getting ready for it. I'm gonna pop around this corner. Boom. Boom. Yeah, he is AFK for sure. I mean, I don't know what he was doing. He just sat there and just took all the damage. Didn't even give a slight hint to anything. So that was kind of weird. Maybe he lagged, I'm not sure, but whatever's. Free kill's a free kill. So yeah, there's my first lot of damage. I'm not gonna really count that too much, but hey oh. You'll see in just a minute once we eventually climb this hill. Oh, the battle's nearly over. Unfortunately, that's the thing, you might not be able to save your teammates sometimes with this thing. Unless they're in a Matilda as well and they're patrolling with you, of course. You're not always going to make it in time, which is obviously unfortunate sometimes. But when you do make it there, this is the kind of stuff that will happen, so long as it's tier 3 or tier 4. I managed to ricochet it back there. Yeah. Look, see that flat spot I'm aiming for? Try and aim for that. Although I think one of my shots did go for the slope, but just to make sure, try and get that flat spot. And, you know, I'm just putting round after round. Get his turret as well. The turret isn't that strong. Don't shoot at the side of the turret, of course. Try and get it in the cheeks and whatnot. And they should go for really better. You see, this other B2 decides to come out. Now, let me just show you. Hold on. Let me just show you here what's going on. You can see basically all those shots so far have been ricochets. They haven't even, they've just been complete ricochets so far. This thing can definitely hold up to choke points such as this, where you're going to be taking lots of damage, and we will see some more in a bit. But also, it can keep pumping their shots. I mean, I've got the reloader on this now, and it's doing 1.82 currently, but I don't know if my crew's quite maxed out yet, so it will probably be even better. Just look at this, I'm just taking on 2 at once. They're not even bothering to aggress on me, but I think I know why, because this thing, turret can rotate pretty fast as well, and the tank doesn't rotate that slowly. But yeah, you can see I just obliterate both of them, and then take on both of them at the same time simultaneously, and take a shot at his turret, take their shot at his. And it's just kind of putting pressure on them, and then they just go, you know, I'm just going to rush around. And then this B2 obviously gets scared and starts panicking. I managed to get a shot on, like, I suppose my upper glacis here. I'll double check that. Yep, right on the upper, not like glacis, what am I on about? The commander's cupola. Right, oh, come on. Stop, I hate these cameras. Right to there, don't know if you could see that, but there you go. Got me right there. So yeah, I wouldn't really recommend face hugging, but I kind of just got a bit confident. I was like, alright, let's just rush around now. You know, I have plenty of HP, so. But yeah, that's basically the choke point right there. And that's another example there. That kind of just shows you how this thing performs, and we'll go to the stats in just a moment. We'll just fast forward to the end here. If you want to see some of this, I don't know. It's just, nothing really happens. And there you go, there's your victory, and now we'll just head over to the stats. High caliber and cool-headed. 15,000 credits, 690 experience. That is without premium, by the way. 1k damage this time. Not as much as last game, but look how much more we blocked. 639. Yeah, that's near enough double the HP of this tank. And we were able to, all because we were able to lock down that 2 areas. And those 2 B2s were just bouncing and bouncing, and I was penning them everywhere, like turret and that flat part is what you should really be aiming for. Didn't quite get a mastery. Of course, not good enough, but still significant enough to get our high caliber. Even the top damage is on the enemy team is 687, is nowhere near this. This is a truly good tank. Okay, so that is the overview of the Matilda. I hope you enjoyed the gameplay clips, my overview and general review of the Matilda, and I will plan to upload possibly more videos in the future once I get the hang of things on possibly other tanks. So you could keep in view for that, and good luck, tankers, and roll out. Enjoy your game, and this is MTech. This is MTech Gaming, and see you later.